Here's something nobody told you about your dog. Every single time they follow you into a room, they're not just being clingy. They're doing something ancient, something wired so deep into their biology it predates the invention of the wheel. And once you understand why, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. You've felt it before. You get up to refill your water glass, and within 3 seconds, 4 paws on the floor, nails clicking across the tile, a warm presence appearing right behind you. You go to the bathroom. They sit outside the door. You move to a different couch cushion. They relocate. Most people chalk it up to love, and sure, that's part of it. But the real answer is layered in millions of years of evolution, pack psychology, and a bond between two species that is genuinely unlike anything else in the animal kingdom. What's happening in your dog's mind when they follow you is one of the most fascinating stories in all of animal behavior. Let's go inside it.
Think about what your dog's life actually looks like. They don't have a job to go to. They don't scroll their phone at 2 a.m. They don't have a social calendar, a best friend across town, or a commute that fills their morning. Their world is you. And this isn't poetic language. This is behavioral science. Dogs are what researchers call obligate social animals, meaning they don't just prefer company, they're biologically wired to require it. In the wild, isolation was a death sentence. No pack meant no food, no protection, no survival. So when your dog follows you from the kitchen to the living room to your home office, they're not being needy. They're doing the one thing that millions of years of evolution told them was the only smart move. Stay close to the one who keeps them safe. Here's the part most people miss, though. Dogs aren't following a person. They're following their person. The distinction is massive. Studies on canine attachment, and yes, there are actual scientists whose entire career is studying this, show that dogs form something behaviorists call a primary attachment bond, which functions almost identically to the bond between a young child and their parent. There's a concept called the secure base effect. When your dog has access to you, they explore freely, play confidently, and show lower stress hormones. Remove you from the picture, everything shifts. Appetite drops, activity slows, anxiety surfaces. You are literally their emotional anchor, and an anchor doesn't stay put when the ship starts moving.
Here's where it gets remarkable. Your dog isn't just following you physically, they're tracking you cognitively. Dogs have developed something over thousands of years of living alongside humans that no other animal on the planet has quite matched. An almost eerie ability to read human body language, micro-expressions, and behavioral cues. When you shift your weight, they notice. When your breathing changes, they register it. When you reach for your keys versus your phone, they know the difference before you even stand up. Researchers at the Family Dog Project in Budapest, one of the leading institutions in canine cognition, have found that dogs follow human gaze, interpret pointing gestures, and detect emotional states through facial expressions with a sophistication that still surprises scientists. But here's the part that should genuinely stop you in your tracks. Your dog isn't just following you to be with you. They're following you because they're studying you. Every movement you make is data. Every routine you build is a pattern they're memorizing. They're building an internal map of you, your rhythms, your moods, your habits. Because in their world, understanding you is how they stay safe, stay fed, and stay connected. That shadow following you down the hallway, that's not neediness. That's a highly intelligent creature running the most advanced social algorithm they know.
To understand your dog, you have to briefly understand their ancestors. Wolves operate in coordinated packs with a structure built on constant proximity and movement synchronization. Cubs follow adults. Pack members move together. Staying in range of your group isn't optional, it's survival code. Dogs carry that genetic memory. Now, here's what's fascinating. Dogs aren't wolves. They diverged somewhere between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago through a domestication process that fundamentally rewired their social target. Instead of bonding primarily to their own species, dogs began bonding to ours. Think about what that means. A wolf cub removed from its mother too early will imprint on humans and show dog-like attachment behaviors. A puppy raised in a healthy home doesn't just tolerate humans, they actively seek them out as their primary social unit. Evolution didn't just make dogs friendly toward humans, it made us their pack. And when you get up to walk to another room, in some ancient, wordless part of your dog's nervous system, the pack is moving. So they move with it.
Now here's the twist most pet owners never see coming. Part of why your dog follows you everywhere is your fault. Not in a bad way, but hear this out. Every time your dog followed you into the kitchen and you reached into the treat bag, you rewarded the behavior. Every time they trotted behind you to the couch and you patted the cushion beside you, you reinforced it. Every time they showed up in the doorway while you worked and you looked over and said, "Hi, buddy," with that involuntary smile, you wrote one more line of code into their behavior. This is called operant conditioning, and dogs are extraordinary at it. They aren't just following you because of instinct. They've learned through hundreds of small moments that following you produces good things. Warmth, attention, treats, play, the sound of your voice. The behavior loop is elegant. Follow, get rewarded, follow more. Which means, in a very real sense, you didn't just adopt a dog. You trained a devoted companion without realizing you were teaching anything at all.
Okay, stop for a second, because this is the part of the video I want you to actually sit with. Most of us think of our dog following us as something they do. But what if it's something they feel? New research in canine neuroscience using actual fMRI brain imaging on trained dogs is showing that the emotional processing centers of a dog's brain activate in response to their owner's scent, voice, and presence in ways that parallel how human brains respond to loved ones. Dr. Gregory Burns at Emory University, who pioneered this work, found that dogs showed activation in the caudate nucleus, a reward processing region, specifically when cues associated with their owner were present. What that means in plain language? Your dog's brain lights up when you're near. Not out of routine, not purely out of instinct, out of something that, on a neurological level, looks remarkably like what we'd call affection. So when your dog follows you from room to room at the end of a long day, they're not waiting for a treat, they're not performing a trained behavior. They're doing the only thing their nervous system knows how to do with that particular feeling. They're staying close to the thing that makes their brain feel right.
We started this video with a question hiding inside an ordinary moment. Your dog gets up, follows you down the hall, sits outside a closed door. And we looked inside that moment, through evolution, through neuroscience, through behavioral psychology. And what we found wasn't just instinct. It was a story millions of years in the making. A wolf's pack loyalty, quietly transferred to a human family. A puppy's attachment system, finding its secure base. A brain that lights up like a reward circuit running full voltage just because you walked into the room. Here's what I want to leave you with. The next time your dog follows you, and they will, probably within the next few hours, just pause for half a second before you reach for that door handle. Because what you're experiencing in that moment is extraordinarily rare on this planet. An entirely different species chose you. Not your neighbor, not the stranger at the dog park, not anyone else. You. And they're not shy about it. They're not playing it cool. They're not pretending they don't care. Every time those four paws fall into step behind yours, your dog is telling you the same thing in the only language they have. I go where you go. That's not just cute.
That's one of the most profound loyalties in the animal kingdom. And it lives in your house. And it probably needs a walk.
Before you go, I want to ask you something. Does your dog have a specific signature move when they follow you? Like a particular room they always wait outside, or a weird spot they plant themselves every single time you sit down? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely love reading these, and honestly, some of you have dogs with behavior patterns that deserve their own documentary. If this video made you see your dog a little differently, or gave you something to think about on your next walk, hit that subscribe button. Because we go deep on animal psychology, the science of the human-pet bond, and the kind of content that makes you actually understand the creature sharing your life. Your dog already knows you're worth following. Maybe this channel is too. See you in the next one.